going on, guys? Matt here from DCLblogger.com. This video I'm going to be going through the pricing for NFTs, whether that be art or other NFTs like game assets, virtual land, etc. By the way, when I say NFTs, I'm talking about everything, right? Art and game assets, virtual land, collectibles, pets, everything that can be NFT tokenized. So just keep that in mind when I'm kind of talking right now. So with Ethereum going up in value, it's gone from like $400 to $1,000, $400. It hit at a point 2 to 3 times its value. Will the same art pieces or NFTs that were able to be sold for 2 Ethereum 2 to 3 months ago, will they still be able to be sold for 2 Ethereum now? Should people be adjusting their prices, etc., etc.? So to highlight that, or a little bit of that, let's kind of look at historically what's happened. So for example, this is a really famous event here where 8 years ago today, someone bought 2 pizzas with Bitcoins now worth $82 million. This article was written by June 2 years ago. So now this whole event was actually 10 years ago. But we kind of celebrate this funny day because today is a Bitcoin Pizza Day. 8 years ago on May 22nd, 2010, a programmer purchased 2 large Papa John's pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin, worth about $30 at the time. It's widely believed to be the first purchase of a product with Bitcoin, proving the then nascent cryptocurrency's potential as a means of payment. So, I mean, 10,000 Bitcoin right now with Bitcoin at $30,000 is probably $300 million if I do my math correctly. And so it kind of goes to show that obviously no one's going to spend $300 million on 2 pizzas now. But as Bitcoin has gone up in value, what has been repriced? It's kind of like the pizza has been pegged to the USD value, and I guess this is a bit different because pizza is a utility item. You eat it; it's kind of pegged at a certain value. There's no like collective value for pizza, right? Not that I know of. But for example, it kind of shows you how like when a currency increases rapidly. Obviously, Bitcoin is a crazy case because it went from like, I don't know, 10 to 15 cents to $30,000. Ethereum going up in value as well kind of shows what can happen. I also want to illustrate something like with Decentraland, where the Decentraland token, which has gone from like 2.5 cents at a certain point, fluctuated from 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, dropped all the way back down to 2.5 cents, 3 cents or whatever. And it's kind of gone up and down in value, but every time it spikes up rapidly, I do see people getting a little bit more sell heavy because suddenly there are 8,000 mana land, which if Bitcoin, if mana is at 10 cents, it's currently worth 800 USD, right? But if suddenly mana goes to $1, hypothetically, if it goes to $1, then suddenly they're sitting on a land that they've got listed for 8,000 US dollars. So maybe they want to, you know, it went from 800 US dollars to 8,000 US dollars. So maybe they'll be happy to sell it for $2,000 because them listing it $8,000 is not getting the sale, but for them to get the sale, maybe they'll have to list it to 2,000, 3,000 mana, and that might see the sale happen, but it would have gone up in USD value. So some people like to accumulate mana, some people like to accumulate Ethereum, some people like to accumulate USD, different things for different people, but that's what happens, and I've seen it many times. This land hasn't gone lower than, I think, 7,000 mana for a very long time now. Or at least 6,000 mana. I've seen some 6,500 mana sales, but yeah, I think for it to go lower than that, it's going to take a pretty crazy amount of price. But I'm just saying, when a currency spikes up in value, the assets that can be bought with that currency also kind of readjust themselves accordingly. So if Ethereum goes from currently at $1,000, say it goes to $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, the same artist that was selling their art pieces for, say, 5 Ethereum, probably not going to be able to sell them for 5 Ethereum again when Ethereum is at $10,000, because suddenly people are spending $50,000 on art pieces. It doesn't really make sense. Usually the market readjusts itself, and the readjusting happens because, say, someone wants to sell their NFT. To get it sold, they have to keep lowering the price, and as they lower the price, the market kind of finds its balance. Maybe it'll fall under the radar of a collector who says, okay, well, I'm happy to buy it at that price. So 5 Ethereum, I'll buy it for 3.5 or something like that. So we're going to have to go through that phase. And to be honest, NFTs have never really experienced a bull market before. end of 2017, they were kind of born in a bull market, but they never experienced a good lengthy 1 to 2, 3 years of adjusting pricing during a bull market. This is almost the first time, if the bull market continues for a year or two, where Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc., continue to go up. This is the first time that we will see NFTs react to all this. So I'm very curious to know what's going to happen. I think there will be readjustment in prices. I think people at a certain tipping point, we're going to see people start to splurge back in other assets. So maybe it might be Ethereum at 3 to 5K, maybe it might be Bitcoin at 30 to 80K, who knows? But people will start to spend that on assets that they think might hold or appreciate in value. And that's where NFTs may come back in. Although we're still going to see, I think, a lot more sales, continued sales in the NFT space. We had a $146,000 land, we had 160, 170K CryptoPunk. We're going to continue to see people splurge on NFTs because it's just the nature of the beast with collectibles. That's how people kind of just do their thing. That's how the market's kind of proven itself to be. But yeah, I think Ethereum's going to go up. People will need to readjust if they need to sell after a certain tipping point. I think between 400 and 800 USD, I think it was okay. It didn't really affect people that much. But once Ethereum goes to 1 to 3 to 5 to 10K, then it will definitely start to affect pricing. So yeah, and I've also, a really good way to kind of see this stuff is if you go to super rare daily price. So this line here shows the daily average price that an art piece sells for, which is really interesting because with the case of super rare, everything's a 1 of 1. So we're not talking multiple editions here for art pieces. We're talking 1 of 1 pieces, right? So you can kind of get the gist of what people are spending on average for an art piece. And yeah, at the end here, it shows it's going up, but we have to remember that we had a day here where, this is weekly, I guess, yeah. This is weekly. We had a day here where 180 Ethereum was spent on 2 art pieces. So we got to remove that from the data set because that's kind of like an outlier. And I think the trend will continue down in terms of the average price in the value of Ethereum. So this will be an interesting graph to keep an eye on because this will tell us what's going on. Because at the end of the day, my opinion should be driven by data, but the data is being gathered as we go. And also, if you look at the top 7-day rankings for platforms, specifically the art platforms, definitely wouldn't classify CryptoPunks as art. Put that in collectibles. I don't know why it's sitting in art. But Rareable, Super, all of these used to have pretty confidently over 100 to 200 Ethereum each in 7-day volume. With Super Rare, with that 180 Ethereum 2 sales, we removed that from the data set. We have 300 Ethereum. Makers is under 100 Ethereum. Origins is way under 100 Ethereum in terms of 7-day volume. Again, nothing wrong about that, but it kind of, if this continues, it'll show the effect, I guess, Ethereum going high will have on the marketplace, right? Because that will tell us if people are still spending. Again, I think with gas fees, that's a big issue. So it's hard to spend like a couple $100 on an art piece or something if it's going to cost someone $100 in gas fees. So we have those factors as well to keep an eye on. But in terms of just the pricing and all of that, it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm just sharing my thoughts. I think Ethereum starts to spike really high really quickly. We'll see a readjustment in prices in Ethereum because suddenly people are happy to get paid 1,000 USD if that means 0.5 Ethereum, right? New artists will be like, all right, well, I'm happy to take $1,000 for this. And that may be 0.5 Ethereum where previously it would be 3 Ethereum. So that repricing might happen, but again, we'll have to watch the marketplace and see how it reacts. So just some thoughts. Let me know what you guys think.